Alright, boys and girls and whoever. So this is my build guide. This is what took me. I've cleared T-14. I'm a casual gamer. I'm not one of those guys that's, going crazy with it. Um, my Tears of Blood is up to level 11. You've got a lot of these guys that are already pushing level 50. I don't see that until, like, that's my end game because I don't have that kind of time. So I'm going to run you through my build real quick, show you what I'm doing. I am running, alright, let's see. I did select lunging strike, but I don't use it. As you can see on my bar here, I've got ground stomp in there instead of lunging strike. With this build, I generate so much fury I shouldn't need to. So I've got one into lunging strike, one into enhance, just so I can get down here to hammer to the ancients. I went up here with furious hammer. With the rage that we have, it seems to work really well. Down here, ground stomp, enhanced ground stomp, strategic ground stomp. Got our shouts. We're at tactical. We went down here to challenging shout. We went to tactical war cry. We went to power war cry. I've got 3 into booming voice, 3 into pit fighter, 1 into thick skin, 2 into counter offensive. Down here we've got 3 into wallop, 3 into brute force, and we just switched over to 3 in concussion. We did have, we skip over that. We have 3 into imposing presence. We did have 3 into martial vigor, but we're not really losing that much life. We're doing pretty good on survivability, so I ripped it out of there. I may even throw it into swiftness if we're doing speed runs just to level our stuff up. But yeah, I threw it into concussion just for the stun chance. I've got 1 into tempered fury, 3 into invigorating, all the way down on berserk and unbridled rage. It seems to be working for us pretty good. So our skill tree is a little bit different than others. They've opted for like martial. I don't see martial working out so well for me. I went ahead and put in dominate there. As you can see, I get 388.1% of overpower damage. That's pretty huge, and we were struggling. So there's a lot of damage resistance now instead of leech, vampiric, and so that really screws us up. And so we're just trying to maximize what we can with that. Every willpower node in the area is getting another 40%. It's pretty crazy. I don't see how we can just turn that away. So that's what we did. Our Tears of Blood is level 11, like I said. With the level 11, we're getting 12% damage to berserking, a little bit of damage reduction, 98.6% increased damage, 12 strength. But you can kind of see what we did here. Ire, Tears of Blood, Domination, definitely got our Bone Breaker, got our Crusher, Wrath. And we reach out and we hit a couple of these, we can switch it up for our resistances, but it's not been an issue. Our resistance is not our issue. So yeah, that's what we're doing there. Our expertise, two-handed axe. Why two-handed axe instead of two-handed sword? So if you're like me, you probably wondered that when you first started. So if you go over into our abilities, you go up here, that's why we took the 1 point here and the 1 point here. Tough as nails, 1 point. Everything that hits us is going to take a thorn that causes bleeding. That's what's going to activate our blood rage. So that's what we're looking for. So two-handed axe expertise, then our character. Our resistance isn't maxed out. I don't have it right now, but I must have ran out. Let's run over there real quick so you can see. So one of the things I like to do, just make some right now, is can craft. What I like to do is there's these little resistance incense. Get one for fire, cold, and shadow. Lightning, cold, poison. Or I can just get some more armor. But that's what I've been doing. I've been doing this one, the poison. It serves me well. As far as elixirs go, we prefer the potent precision. At an extra 5% crit with the crit strike damage on top of it is really nice. We have also been using Iron Skin, which is nice. And one of the things that we're thinking about doing also is if we run in here into the bank, I've got, oh, it's right there. So I've got a bunch of these, you know, of slayings, these slayers, demon slain, undead slain, and if you go into an abattoir and you see what it is in there, there's a good chance that you're going to get multiples of the same, and so I'm going to be using those, which I should just go ahead and take out now. Be slain, man slain. Yeah. We do have Chorus of War. We'll take that out. Chorus of War is not bad. All stats by 40 and crit and overpower by 5%. It's a nice little kicker for whatever you might be doing. Alright, now to the important part that everybody's wondering with the gear. Yes, I farmed a long time, so it took me over 1,800 runs to get my Harlequin's Crest. If you don't have it, there's lots of other options that you can get. I've seen some people that use God Slayers, but I think the Tusk Helm is a better option. If you don't have Harlequins, I suggest the Tusk. It's going to give you more damage. It's going to give you more resistance with your 4 ranks of aggressive resistance passive. 4 ranks of aggressive resistance is pretty big. As far as our chest piece, we went with Disobedience. We got almost max armor. We wish we had that extra percent, but I've not had the best luck in rolls on chest piece and legs. I do have 3 damage reductions. They're not the 3 that I want, but they're the 3 that I have. It's the best. It's the best piece that I have. So, and I think that for the rolls on it, it's not bad. So I've got damage reduction 9. The max is 10.7. That's not bad. Damage reduction from distance 22.3, which is almost max at 23.7. So that's pretty good. And then damage reduction while fortified, which is kind of crappy. I'd like to re-roll it. That's one that I rolled. It's only 8.4%. The max is 15.3%, but unfortunately, I've re-rolled so much that I'm actually out of um, some of the one of the mats that I need for that. So this is the best we have, um, and we're going with that. For gloves, I went with the Ancestral Force on my gloves. I like the rolls that I have on this for the most part. It's attack speed, which is, some people put lucky hit in there. I like the attack speed. 11.3% crit, max is 12, so I think that's pretty good. 81% overpower is pretty huge. Some people don't even put overpower in there. I don't know why, but they do. And then 4 ranks to Hammer the Ancients. I put the Ancestral Force on my gloves instead of my weapon. I don't think it really matters. For my legs, I put Tybalt's Will. I have 38% in there. Um, if you look at my Tybalts, their base plus damage roll was pretty high at 24%, with a pretty high max resource at 18%, which with a pretty high damage reduction, which is 18%. I do have some max roll 40% in here, 40% right there, but you can see the damage is 16%. That's 8% less. It does have a pretty good max resource, but really low on the damage reduction. There's another 40%. Again, the damage is okay. The max resource is okay. The damage reduction's okay, but I get quite a bit more from, let's see, I get quite a bit more from the set that I'm using. And, you know, so I lose a little bit of resource. I lose 2.2% of damage. Is it, you know, go, you just go with what you got, guys. Um, it's another 40%. I lose 7%, 8%. There's just so much that you lose that I figured it wasn't worth it. So, my boots, I went with these. They're not the ones that I wanted. I wanted the ones that have +3 or +2 to your evade. Uh, but this is what I got, so this is what I use. I got a pretty decent roll on movement speed. I got a really decent roll on damage reduction while injured, which is super important. Super important. Get that damage reduction while injured. It's huge. Um, you're going to be get hit by everything, and you want it to go ahead and turn on so that it starts procking your heart. Uh, I do have 2 resistances on there. It doesn't really matter what your resistances are. Try and get as close to max roll as you can, and then adjust your gems in your jewelry to fit what your needs are. On my and I have Ghostwalker on those. I chose Ghostwalker because the Unstoppable is really good. With the Tybalts, you deal X amount of damage increase while unstoppable and for 4 seconds after. So what I found is my unstoppable was dropping off, so I went ahead and put these back on. I had Berserk Fury on this to extend my berserking, but I feel like I'm getting more out of this. My two-handed weapon, my two-handed bludgeon weapon, obviously limitless rage on it. Uh, I think I got a really good roll on this. Um, I got really high on my all stats. I got really high on my strength. I got a maximum overpower, which is crazy good. I got a pretty low damage while berserking, but hey, what do I care? This was the same thing. It's pretty good. It's a 38, which is almost max to all stats. 71, which is almost max to strength. 78, which is pretty good for overpower, and a 31% damage while close. Now, a lot of people would say, well, you should get the plus to berserking there. Well, yeah, I did have one that has plus to berserking. I have a lot of them, actually. Um, but the rolls were really low, and you just that's one thing that you got to remember is go with what you got. Like if you have something that's considerably better, which I do, just go with that. I lose a ton of stuff with these. I lose 13 strength. I lose 13% overpower. Yeah, I gain 15% damage while berserking, but I also lose 31% damage while close. So just work with what you got. For my second one-hander, I've got the Doombringer. For my two-handed sword, I have Grandfather. This ring has plagued me. It's a solid ring. It's a solid because it has or close to max maximum fury, but it has a max resource generation, and resource generation with the hardest Helig is so good that the 3.3 crit chance was worth it for me. I wish I had a 7.5, but it is what it is. We all play with what we got. My other ring is not a max again, but it's the best that I could get. Then it's a 917, 28%. I think it's solid. Huge maximum fury, huge resource generation. The resource generation was max. That's why I went with it. Obviously, if you've played this build and you have a Heart of Selic, you understand how important resource generation is. Watch my videos. It's pretty crazy. And then last but not least, the melted heart of Selig. Um, it's just ridiculous. And I got a max. I mean, they're all max roll for the Ubers. I don't know why, but it's just amazing. Try it out. If you don't have it, go farm it. There's very easy ways to get Duriel summons. Just look around and talk to people. So for all my gear, I've got rubies in there. Um, you can switch that out for damage reduction. It does do good, but this is what's working for me right now. I could switch it out later and try it out. Who knows? For all your weapons, you want rubies. You want that overpower damage. You're gonna need it. And then for these, like I said, I just kind of put it where I needed it. It brought everything pretty close to max. My poison resist is a little low, but once I hit that, where is it? Once I hit that, it's going to bring my poison resist up to, what is that, 68, 69%. Not the best, but we work with what we got. So as you can see, I've got 73% or 73,000 attack power, 8,800 armor, and 28,000 life. That's great. That is great. With all the plus to everything, I don't have any problems. My intelligence, my willpower, my dexterity are all really high. And because of that, everything that I have in my Paragon board, all these extras that need crazy amounts to activate, they're all activated. I mean, that one takes 530 willpower. Easily done. So, no problemos. Let's go outside so I can show you what it looks like when I have my shouts up. I'll just run outside of town real quick. And I'm a casual gamer, I try hard. I'm a try hard casual. I don't care. You can say what you want about it. I enjoy it. This is what I enjoy. I play it like this. That's how it goes. So, outside, with all our shouts going, everything all procced up, we're at 154,000 attack power, 32,000 life. Let's go get our armor boosted by getting attacked. So you see, it doesn't take long for them to beat on us. I'm killing everything, unfortunately. Let's find someplace where they can't. See if we can't get a little bit more so you can see what my armor goes to when and your steam when you're steamrolling. It's just gonna be stacked up the whole time. So I'll run out here so you can see what the armor looks like. Let's find a nice big group. There we go. Is everything just gonna die? Yeah. So we're gonna have a hard time getting this all leveled up. But so as you can see, I only have very few stacks. But I hit that max pretty quick when I'm running. Is there anything that might survive? Try the PvP area. Always try T dungeon too, but as you can see, it's pretty crazy for a casual gamer to be doing that. I think that's great. We completed T-14 on Abattoir. We're pushing 15. We've got some pretty bad luck in it so far, and our sigil dust is low. So what I've done is I've gone back now that yesterday post patch we went through 1 through 10. We did Abattoir at level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to see how much try to how much sigil we got, and pretty much one shot everything all the way up until tier 8, and we got a pretty good amount of experience. So if we're gonna level our glyph up right now, I think we'll do it at tier 8 because it's so fast. The speed that we can complete it at is fast, and the reward is not bad. We can probably do 3 or 4 runs of T8 Abattoir to level it, and yeah, so that's our build. That's my build in a nutshell. It might help some of you, it might not. Like I said, I have 3 into concussion right now. I've had it in heavy-handed, which does pretty good. I've also put it up here into martial vigor, which is not bad. If you're trying to do speed runs, drop it into swiftness. But there's 3 points that you can move around right there. It's a solid build. I think it does pretty good. I've got no issues with it. Am I gonna push tier 25 of Abattoir? Maybe. Oh, but let me know if you have any questions in the comments. I'll try and answer whatever you can. Follow me on Twitch, The Real Necrotog, Twitter, whatever, Facebook. Just look for me, you'll find me. Do I think this game is worth $42 right now, or wait for it to go lower? I think it's great right now, and honestly, if you're going to get into it, now's a pretty good time. There's a lot to do. It's a season right now, season 2 right now, so if you got into it right now, leveled up in a week or 2 as a casual gamer, you could be doing Abattoir, and by the time you actually get to where you need to be and doing this, it's probably going to be time to reset to a new season. It's actually a really good time. It's a really good time. And I don't know what you like to play, but my advice, HOTA Barb. I'm a Whirlwind Barb. I love Whirlwind. I've always loved Whirlwind. I've always played Whirlwind. Back in the old Diablo days, we played Whirlwind, PvP Whirlwind. I loved killing people and seeing all the gear pop onto the ground, and I'd steal it all up and run to town. Suck it, Trebek is awesome. But I struggled as Whirlwind in this game. I have a second Barb I'm doing right now. I'm probably going to switch over to HOTA on that Barb and switch this guy to uh, Whirlwind, and I'll tell you why. So one of the things that I did, which is upsetting, so anytime that you go unstoppable with this, you're gonna get Fury. Now with Metamorphosis, anytime you evade, you go unstoppable for 4 seconds. If I had not done that, it would have been 2 seconds. And if it had been 2 seconds, and on my boots I had the +2 to evade, every 2 seconds I could be getting that Fury back. So big mistake. I should have done it. 50 resource every 2 seconds would have been amazing. So I haven't leveled it all the way up, but I'm thinking about it, highly thinking about it. Thanks for your question though. Don't forget to follow while you're here. And yeah, that's my build. It does really well for me, what I like to do, and you know, the same gear is the same gear that we consistently hit for 500 to 600 million when we go into the boss kill build, you know, and boss kill is just changing our paragon and our skills. We might do a guide on that when we get tired of doing this, but yeah. So, all right. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll be back.